Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. So we're from Group 10. We would like to present our topic about ecocriticism. But before that, let we introduce ourselves first. My name is Angelikhaza Denova, and my partner is Salwa Salsabila. So we've moved on to the definition of ecocriticism. So what is ecocriticism? Ecocriticism is a critical approach that analyzes how nature and the environment are represented in cultural texts, such as literature. It focuses on how attitudes toward nature are constructed through language and storytelling. The aims of ecocriticism is to raise environmental awareness and connect literary studies with ecological activism and environmental sciences. So next is the background and development of ecocriticism. Ecocritisms emerge in response to issues like uncontrolled capitalism, excessive exploitation of nature, and the harmful effects of industrial development. Second one is it became a formal theory after environmental activism and legal cases related to the pollutions and development gained attention. Next is influenced by different fields, including philosophy, ecology, feminism, Marxism, and social sciences. So next, we've moved to the main focus of ecocriticism. So there are two focus of ecocriticism. The first one is discourse, and the second one is praxis. Discourse examines how cultural ideas about nature appear in literature and other texts, while praxis helps increase environmental awareness by reinterpreting classic literary works. So move on to the phases of ecocriticism according to Cheryl Gladfelty. So the first one is studying how nature is represented in literature. For the example, like the idea of wilderness or untouched lands. And the second one is recovering and reintroducing nature-focused literary texts. While the third one is analyzing how literature communicates about species, humanity, and gender, often through ecofeminist perspectives. So next is different approaches. Basically, there are five the different approaches. So I will explain the third one. The first one is deep ecology. It rejects human-centered thinking and argues that all living things have inherent value. The second one is Marxist environmentalism. It views environmental destructions as results of nature as a commodity. And the third one is apocalypticism. It uses disaster narratives to highlight a crisis. So next would be explained by Salwa.
So the next approaches, such as third world environmentalism, it explores the connection between poverty and environmental damage, focusing on how developed nations exploit developing countries by outsourcing pollution, resource extraction, and waste disposal, leaving local communities to suffer the consequences. And the last is ecofeminism, examines the link between environmental destruction and the oppression of women, arguing that both stem from patriarchal systems that commodify nature and marginalize women's roles in ecological sustainability. And the next is about literary ecology. So literary ecology is the study to studies how literature presents nature as more than just a background setting, and then analyzes how humans and the environment interact in stories and then encourages an ecological perspective when reading literature, questioning the impact of human actions on the planet. And this is the sample case of ecocriticism. President Prabowo's plan to expand palm oil plantations reflect an economic narrative that exploits natural resources. From an eco-critical perspective, this policy shows an anthropocentric view that prioritizes human interest without considering long-term ecological impacts. This caused various kinds of reactions from all Indonesian people on various social media. One of them is from academics, such as Professor Budi Setiadi Daryono from UGM, warned of threats to biodiversity and ecosystems. Therefore, this policy should be balanced with a sustainability narrative that emphasizes ecological responsibility to maintain harmony between development and environmental conservation. So based on the case, we can conclude that literature can raise awareness about environmental issues, inspire activism, and influence policy changes by portraying the consequences of ecological destruction. And this case is included in Marxist environmentalism because it illustrates how nature is commodified for capitalist profit, often at the expense of the environment and to the detriment of small people such as farmers. And for the conclusion, we can conclude that eco-criticism connects literature with ecology, showing how cultural texts reflect and shape people's attitudes toward nature. By examining environmental themes in literature, eco-criticism promotes awareness and encourages a more sustainable relationship between humans and a natural world. So I think that's all that we can say about that we can explain about eco-criticism. Thank you for the attention. And the last we can say is Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.